What is up, guys? And today we're going to be talking about the South Carolina Democratic primary, which is coming up on February 3rd. So that's coming up on Tuesday, I believe. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my predictions since we're on January 31st. And I don't see a lot of people talking about this. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about it since nobody else wants to. So if you guys don't know, the Democratic Party wanted to realign the states in the order in which they vote. Their whole message was that they wanted more diversity and they wanted minorities to have a bigger say earlier in the primary contest in who the nominee is. So they threw Iowa under the bus. Iowa is now part of Super Tuesday, and they tried to throw New Hampshire under the bus too, but it didn't work because New Hampshire has a law in place that their primary has to be the first primary in the nation. So it was a whole big thing where Joe Biden didn't even want to put his name on the ballot because he didn't want to entertain the idea. Then their campaign started to panic because there was Dean Phillips was surging. So then they tried to scramble at the last minute to do a write-in campaign. He ultimately won, and we're going to take a look at those numbers in a minute. But we're going to talk a little bit about the restructuring of this whole thing. So South Carolina is going to be the first primary with any kind of delegates on the Democratic side. And really, guys, I mean, we know why this is. It's not really because of diversity. It's because Biden got blown out in 2020 in Iowa and New Hampshire. Establishment candidates like Biden and the Democratic side don't do well in places like Iowa and New Hampshire, or Nevada for that case. Progressives tend to be favored more in those states. The establishment doesn't like that, so that's the reason for the change. But South Carolina's coming up, and it's got 55 delegates. And so Republican primary and Democratic primary, they do things differently, and they award delegates differently. So the way South Carolina will be doing their delegates, they are awarded proportionally by state, statewide and congressional district votes with a 15% threshold. 12 at-large delegates are allocated in proportion to the statewide vote, as are 7 pleo delegates, or party leaders, quote-unquote. The state's 7 districts also have a combined 36 delegates, which are allocated in proportion to the vote. The vote results in each district. So there's a 15% threshold for both the statewide vote and the congressional districts. So that's the minimum you have to meet in the state, either the overall statewide vote or in each individual district to qualify for delegates. But if we take a look at the New Hampshire results, the final RCP average had Biden winning by a 45-point spread. The final results, he ultimately won by 47.2. So we're seeing a recurring trend this election cycle. I know people are still hesitant about polls after 2016, but the RCP average seems to be, they've straightened out their stuff over there because they were like spot on in both the Iowa and New Hampshire. For the Republican side, they were spot on for the Democratic side in New Hampshire. So I have a lot of faith in RCP. So that's what we're going to be using. And there's one poll right now. There could be more before the election, but this is all we have right now. And this was done on January 2nd through the 3rd. Biden with 69, Phillips with 5, Marianne Williamson with 3. So 64-point spread in favor of Biden right now. And if you guys don't remember, back in 2020, like I was saying earlier, we had Iowa, and it was a big disaster because they were trying to do everything on an app, and it didn't work, and it was a failure. We didn't get any of the results till the next day. But Biden came in, I believe, like 4th. It was pretty bad. And then he got blown out in New Hampshire. Bernie won Nevada. So it wasn't until South Carolina that Biden got his first win because a black pastor came out in support of him. And the establishment freaked out because they didn't want Bernie to win. So he got that endorsement in South Carolina. He won South Carolina. And then that momentum behind his back paired with the establishment all rallying behind him. He went on to win massively on Super Tuesday, and the rest is history. So, of course, Biden is poised to do very well here. I don't expect his challengers to really put up any kind of fight. So, with the fact that Biden is polling at 69 and Phillips is only at 5, Williamson at 3, and Phillips actually underperformed his polling in New Hampshire. Williamson only outperformed by 1 point. So even if we take in those adjustments, Phillips and Williamson don't meet the threshold for any delegates. So there's no reason at this point in time to believe that Joe Biden isn't going to sweep the state and sweep all 55 delegates. So you guys, that is my 2024 Democratic primary, South Carolina primary predictions. After South Carolina, I don't have it pulled up, but I believe we go to Nevada, and I believe so February 6th, the Republican primary and the Democratic primary are on the same day, but the Republican primary is non-binding. Nikki Haley is the only one on the ballot. I'm going to make a video about that, so you guys can just stay tuned for that. And then I would have to pull up the calendar, but I believe Michigan's in there, and then Nevada's in. Yeah, so no, Nevada and Michigan I know for sure, but we're going to be diving into that all in the coming weeks, and I will be live streaming the election on Tuesday, so make sure you guys are here for that. So thank you guys for watching the video. I'll see you guys all next time.